If we merge, like the same problem in this, if you merge, what about the others? Almost 1 million employees. They do not have data about department. Also, sometimes we have the workforce relationship, other relationship prevent to merge it. So merge is kind of one option, just in case. Okay? And that is the merge. The last option is a just in case. In manager relationship, we have many attributes, like the start date, and manager salary, manager what. We have so many attribute information for manager. At that time, you can create manager relation. So we can create one relation for manager. Then DNO and manager social security number. Make the folding key. Okay? This is one option. Just in case this one is very important to be managed separately. At that time, you can select this option. Yes?
So which option is the best?
Which option is best? It depends. But mostly, the first option is used. Okay? Why? Because in your ER modeling, you already separate. You already find entities, then identified one-to-one relationship. So this one is most frequently used. Second, third options are just in case. Okay? Yes.
Could you please merge the second?
Yes, second. Yeah, merge. So, for example, if you merge two, for example, employee department relation, you can create one relation, EMP, DPT, then SSN can be key. Then all the attributes about that, all the attributes about department, then you can add start date. However, this is a manager. What about the other employee? All this information will be null information. It's a waste of space. It's very hard to manage. Okay? Also, you will see this one in the normalization process. This disobeys the normalization rule. So we will see later why this is not the full choice. But sometimes you can do that. In case all transactions actually access both employee and department together. That time you don't have to separate them, right? Because it's one-to-one mapping. So it's better merge. That is step 3. Step 4, one-to-one. Next, one-to-many. One-to-many is not very difficult. For example, what is one-to-many? So for example, employee and department. Employee works for department. Department may have many. So in many side, from the many side, that is employee. So you can add attribute. Okay, for one side, that is DNO. Okay, then create the folding key like that. That's it. So 1 to n, create folding key from n side to one side. So one side, primary key of one side, that is the number in department, should be added. Then is this way folding key. Anything else? one-to-many. Control. So the project has many sides, D and controlling department, and refer this one. Don't forget the direction. What else? Do we have any other one-to-many? Supervision is the one-to-many. One supervisor supervise, many supervising. Okay? That means it's a recursive recursive what? Relationship. Okay? So many sides create supervisor SSN. Okay? Then refer SSN. This supervisor anyway employee should exist in the SSN. Okay? That's it. That is one too many. This is step 4. The remainder is step 5. What is step 5? Many to many. That's the problem actually. The first entity, second weak entity, third one to one, then one to many. Right now, many to many. Many to many. What is the many to many relationship? So many employee works on many projects. Okay, one project has the many employees. So many to many. It's hard. It's not possible to identify the data using foreign key. To use the foreign key, the other destination should be primary key. However, in many-to-many relationship, employee works for many projects. Project has many employees. It's not possible to create the project and employee only foreign key. No, it's not possible. To address that problem, we can create new table, new relation. It's called the associating relation or in-between relation. Can you remember I showed during the exercise lab? When you create the many-to-many relation, why don't you test it if you cannot remember? Create the one entity, then create the many-to-many relationship. Then right-click on relationship, many-to-many relationship. There is an option. There is an option for what? Creating associating table. If you going forward to yes, there might be additional entity between this many-to-many. Okay? So that means we cannot manage attribute information about hours for employee. No, because we have many hours for each employee. Also, we have many hours for department.
Yes.
So we cannot manage. Why? Relational database model allows single value for each data. So we can create separate relations. That is works on. What is the primary key? How can you identify the specific hour for each employee
You have to take SSN from employees and the primary key of projects.
Project. You should know two things: employee number, social security number, and project number. Then you can identify the specific hours. So social security number and what? Project number. Then using this one, you can identify number of hours. So you need to create new relation with the primary key. Primary key is primary key plus primary key. Okay? Both sides. That's it? No. This should be this one. So foreign key and foreign key. That is the many-to-many relationship. What else? For example, student and courses. How many courses can you register? Many courses. How many students for each course? Many. So there might be many-to-many relationship between course and student. That is named as registration. That registration may have the primary key, student ID and course ID. Then what can be the attribute? Grading or the tuition for each registered course. Okay? So that is the many-to-many relationship. 1 through 5 we did for entity and relationship we convert. The remainder is this one. We skip the multi-valued one. For the multi-valued one, well, what is the multi-valued one? Location. In other words, we have department C as the HR department as New York, LA, and San Francisco. Many values. That is not allowed in relational database model. However, if you are using object-oriented database, it's not a big deal. We can consider this as an object. So not a problem. It's the same thing. However, in relational model, it should be just one object. So no way to create the multiple value. To address that problem, we can. The only way is creating
A new relation.
new relation. So we need to create location relation. So that's it. For multi-valued one, creating new relation. For what? That location. What can be the primary key of the location? It's a department number for each department and location. Okay? Then it will be the primary. For example, department number 1, New York. Okay? Department number 1, LA. Department number 1, San Francisco. Is that all? No. The number should be in department. Foreign key. Then creating new relation with foreign key. Okay? If you have a specific address of location, you can add this one. That is the only way to handle. Even though location is not the entity, it's an attribute, but in terms of the relational model, there's no way. That is the reason if you see the database, sometimes number of relation, number of tables are so many, much more than your initial modeling. Because of this, so if you take a look at the real database, many tables are very small size table. Sometimes you wonder, why do we need to create such a small tables? Instead, why don't we include such a data into the existing table, main table? Because relational database cannot take care of such a multi-value one. Okay? Yes?
With the new relation here.
Yes.
I mean, can we just...
It's not entity, it's actually attribute in an entity.
But I mean, when you create it in real life, you have to make it...
You need to create a relation. Okay? Entity is the concept of ER modeling. Okay? Relation is in the relational model.
Relation.
Yes.
You need to
Create a relation.
A relation.
Yes.
And I suggest we just go for serial, location ID and relate that and make
I will
it
explain.
primary.
I will explain later. Okay? I will explain. Yes.
I have a question about the location, the new relation.
Location, yes.
Yeah. When we create a new relation,
Yes.
we have to put the primary keys. How we can decide?
Primary key. Actually, location. How can you identify this location, LA? LA for what? Department 2. Probably LA may have several departments. So to identify the specific office, you should know department number. You should know the location. So HR in New York, HR in LA, the payroll in LA. So you should know both of them, D name and location. Okay? If you have more information about specific office, you can add it here. But D number should exist in department for each. The last one. Last one is step 7. We did everything except for this ER diagram, we don't. Okay? We done this one. However, What about this? Can you see? The supplier project part involving supply relationship. It's of course ternary relationship. So far, step 2, 3, 4, 5 is for binary relationship. 1, 2 binary relationship. This one is ternary relation. Three entities are involved. Supply. For example, supplier A. Lee supplier supply part A to project 1. This is one relationship. However, 3. So somebody may consider, why don't we create the binary relationship between supplier and part and project and supplier, then convert into relation using this rule. Yes, you can do that, but that is not same as this one. If you create the binary relationship, supplier can have many parts. Actually, that is not used in project. Also, supplier can supply the project. I can support the project, but I do not have any part. Right? So it's actually different. So how can we handle without losing the meaning of the ternary relationship? We create. The only solution is creating a new relation for supply. So in this example, so we can create first we are going to map suppliers. It's not difficult using step 1. Supplier S name. The project P name. Primary key. Then what is this? Part number or part. This is a part, this is a project, this is a supply. Then create additional relation. It's called sometimes a surrogate the relation. That's different. So we are going to create a new relation for S, P, P, whatever, supply. What is the primary key? Primary key will be combination of all three. Okay? Which means S name, P name, and part number. Then one composite primary key. Don't forget foreign key. This is a step 7. Then somebody may be curious like him. It's too deep. If we have the ternary relationship, which means one relationship with 10 entities, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 attributes for primary key. Even not only you confuse the primary key, but it's slow. Make slow your system to process. Why? To check the duplicate data or primary key. The computer need to do what? Sorting the data. They need to sort. Otherwise, you cannot know whether data is duplicated or not. Sorting is one of the expensive operation in algorithm, not the operation, algorithm in computer science. You can use the binary search or the binary sort, whatever sort, but still it's very expensive. So to avoid such a very complicated sorting, why don't we create supplier ID, SID? That should be sequence number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then this will be just the attribute. Okay? That frequently happen in real life projects. So you can see a lot of something ID, something number. Actually that was not defined. But intentionally you can create the unique number. You do better use the number rather than the letter A, B, C, D because number is faster. So you can use a sequence number. Actually this number is not asked by your customer, not used in the information in university, but you intentionally create the primary key with the sequence number.
Okay.
Yes.
So how did we solve this law? How did we solve
You can replace this composite primary by number.
sorted?
That should be sorted, but when you sort the data, it's faster than very complicated the character. Okay? Then the problem when you are using such additional the key sequence number, how do you get such a sequence number? For example, bank account. So account number starts from 1. So first account will be selected. So transaction 1, holding 1. But it's not done yet. So maybe next transaction will get 2, number 2. Transaction 1 is failed in the middle of processing. It's not. It cannot be completed. Then do you have number 1? No, number 1 is already skipped. It's very hard to reuse the previous one. Sometimes your application should take care of to generating sequence number.
Yes.
Sometimes database management system, each vendor, each product provide to generate the sequence number. But there's no perfect solution. Sometimes you should allow the skipped number. That is the reason most of the system, the sequence, unique ID, is not the sequence. It's a sequence, but it's actually skipped a lot. Okay? Also, somebody may consider, why don't you lock the number until transaction is completed? Think about the trading, stock trading system. If somebody opened the account, all the transactions should wait until one transaction is completed. It cannot be allowed in most of the real OLTP system. Okay? So in your project, you can use such an additional key in case your primary key is very complicated. But probably I'm going to ask you, how do you create such a sequence number? Some of the project, some of the system create the table relation that means sequence number. The maximum and current one and the how many skip, something like that. You understand what I'm saying? Also, another way is whenever you create a new number, you look at the last one.
Get the last one.
Yes.
One.
It's not easy actually. Getting the last one because our database, relational database model is not ordered set. You cannot guarantee. When you select the last one, that is the last number? No. You need to sort the data.
Sort.
Descending sort. It takes up time. What if you have the 10 million data? You need to sort the 10 million. Okay? So, that's the summary of the mapping. So, entity is a relation. One-to-one, one-to-many, you can use a foreign key. In rare case, you can merge it or you can create the in-between table for one-to-one. Many-to-many, you can create the many-to-many with two foreign key. And already you can add the foreign key, create a relation and foreign key. And simple attribute is attribute composite. You can use a sub-component and multi-value relation and foreign key. And key attribute, you can select one key as the primary key. Next class, we will discuss about the remainder step 8 and 9. That's for generalization and specialization. As I said, relational database model is easy to learn. It's very efficient. However, it's not very flexible. So there's no way to take care the generalization or specialized sub and super classes directly. So we need to consider alternative way, different way. So we will take care in the next class. Any question?